So here we are with another instalment in the Call of Duty franchise, this one aptly named Infinite Warfare. Now, I'm not a big fan of Call of Duty. I'm not going to sit there and try and praise the franchise. I believe that most of the games are just a generic bullshit which comes out yearly just to get the sheeple to purchase the game again. Obviously concentrating more on the actual multiplayer than the actual campaign, as if we're not actually going to play it. Well, do you know what? I like my story, I like my campaigns, I want to play through the game and enjoy it. So normally when I get a Call of Duty game coming out, I don't get excited, I just ignore it, leave it to the kids to play. So, with this one, was it any different? Yeah, it really was. I mean, going on past experience of Call of Duty games, you normally find that the campaign is very, very lacking. You maybe get up to 6 hours worth of actual gameplay, even on a difficult setting. The storyline hasn't been thought through, it's just like the producers have just clunked it together and gone, yeah, nobody's going to play this anyway. At least it shows that we're trying to produce a game worth £40–50. Take Ghost for example. You spend the entire campaign supposed to be joining the sneaky peeky crew, yet the first mission you go into, you end up destroying a complete bloody compound on your own, making as much noise as physically possible. The storyline of Ghost actually served no purpose and the ending was wank. You got to the point where you just thought, why the fuck did I just play that for the last bloody couple of hours? You end up going onto the multiplayer and realising, yeah, you know what, this is actually alright, this is what I got the game for in the first place. But I'm playing through this, I'm getting all the dings for completing all the different achievements for the missions, completing all the campaign, and they're all coming up as rare. 6–7%. One of them, I think, was the last mission. I think there was only 1%. I mean, seriously, guys, at least justify the time that these people have put into actually creating the campaign for you. All these voice actors have hired. All the facial recognition services have used. I mean, people have actually written the story for this, planned out the gameplay, created the visual sets. We've had actors brought in, paid a bloody amount of money just for their speech or the facial recognition. Just to give you the enjoyment of a maximum of 12 hours worth of campaign, at least give it the fucking justification and play the damn thing. So enough whinging about people not actually playing the campaign. When it does come down to it, you can tell it's got its Call of Duty feel. I mean, this isn't a Halo game. You can't just run around jumping over people, trying to melee them all the time. If you come into a situation where there's 5 or 6 in front of you, you have to get your head down, you need to take them out one at a time, move your position forward. I mean, in this game, a headshot's a headshot, you know, they're dead as fuck. If you shoot them in the leg, they're going to crawl backwards with a gun and still open fire at you. So you get yourself into some cover, you plan your route of attack, and you go from there. And then eventually some of your actual NPCs that are running around beside you will actually give you a hand. It doesn't happen often, I must admit. I think it went through the majority of the game. It wasn't very often where I'm opening fire on someone and they helped out. But at least it kept me company throughout the campaign. You have some nice little tools of the trade. You've got your Seeker, which is this creepy spider type bloody grenade which runs across the battlefield and jumps on top of one of your enemy players, takes them out, and any unfortunate buggers that are stood there beside them go with them. Other items such as your drones, which hover above you and shoot at the same target you are, they can be quite handy in a low visibility situation because they actually mark a little target on the enemy. So if you do pop your head up, you know exactly where you're shooting at. I found this quite helpful because my visual recognition with these sort of games seems to be quite lacking. One of the interesting ones that they add is the hacking device. Now you can use this when you're undercover to take over one of the enemy robots, and you get it for a short duration of time, so you can wipe out almost their entire team with that robot. Failing that, once you're finished with it, it also activates a self-destruct sequence, so all you need to do is move into an area that's full of them and you take them out at the same time. You have the ship missions, which also coincide with the actual campaign itself, where you're on the outside piloting a ship, taking out all the enemy ships. I actually enjoyed this aspect because there was enough in it to enjoy, but not too much that it seemed like that was the main emphasis of the game. But again, there's not too little to show that it was a sort of afterthought and just chucked in. It's an equal balance throughout the actual game itself. So added together with the boots on ground and the ship missions, the game does actually pan out to quite a good length. Not too much where you're thinking, fucking hell, I just want this to end, but not too little where you sit there justifying the money you've just spent on the actual game itself. You have a couple of characters which follow you throughout the game, all serving their own little purpose. One or two of them are pretty much just planted in there to give this whole macho soldier bullshit. I'm sorry, but soldiers do actually want to go home at the end of the day. They don't concentrate their entire careers on dying in the most glorified manner, so they end up with a medal at the end of it, which the Call of Duty franchise seem to include quite a lot in most of their games. Your partner throughout the game is another human soldier called Saltaire, your nickname's Salt. Female character who's given the overly generic, I'm going to be a mega badass bitch and nobody's going to care about it. Well, I'm sorry, I found that quite irritating. I thought she was actually quite an annoyance of a character throughout the game. One of the other main ones is Ethan, one of your cyborg companions. He added quite a lot of humour to the actual situation. I think I had more of a feeling towards him throughout the game than I did for your actual partner Salt. There are some characters included in the gameplay who are purely just introduced so they can have this macho man sort of death throughout the actual campaign. You don't really feel any attachment to them, so when you do lose them it's a sort of a meh moment. I think they could have added a little bit more depth to these characters so when they do die you feel something for them. The ending of the campaign does lack substance for me. I don't want to give away the actual ending of it, but to be honest there's not really much of an ending to give away. You finish it off not actually knowing if all the endeavours you've just gone through for the last 12 hours were actually any good, or whether it's actually going to lead to a sequel or not. So, time will tell, I suppose. Being a Call of Duty game, I'd be very surprised if they don't make a sequel to it. They didn't do a sequel to Ghost, but that was justifiable because Ghost was utter shit. The multiplayer is your standard Call of Duty multiplayer. At the very beginning you've got the option for 3 separate rigs, which give the option of being just your standard soldier, a tank with your heavy weapons, or an up close and personal robot. Again, player preference all down to that one, but at least you have the option of choosing rather than just starting with your bog standard soldier with the general kit. So I suppose it all comes down to whether or not I would recommend this game. Honestly, yes I would. Being a big campaign fan, this actually did it for me. There was enough in it to justify me actually spending my time on it. And with regards to the multiplayer, if it's your sort of thing, yeah, you're going to start playing this, you're never going to put it down. Certainly not until the next one comes out.
Seth is using our ATIS guns to shoot down the fleet!
Hang on, his what gun?